Hi guys, good evening everyone. This is a orientation session welcoming UPSC aspirants 2024 targeting the next exam and 2023 mains. So as this is the orientation session, we are going to discuss our strategy, pattern, and along with that, we're also going to talk about something related to syllabus. So, first, the very first thing is thank you so much for having faith and joining us. Now, let's talk about the syllabus and the strategy we are going to follow. I wanted this session, orientation session, in the evening only so that all of you are free from your different coachings. Many of you are taking other coachings, many of you have long lengthy classes, and you get free mostly by 7:30 or maybe sometimes at 8. So this was the reason we took this timing of 8 to go for the session. Now the first thing that you have to note it down, as this is the introduction session, orientation session, the first thing that you have to note it down is this is English literature. So literature is totally different from history, political science, geography, sociology, or the other subjects that you have. So in history, if you go for a wrong answer, suppose they're asking questions related to King Akbar, all of his wars, all of his amendments, reformations, all kind of contribution, and suppose you get confused and start writing about Babur or someone else, there will be a direct wrong answer. In political science, they're asking some amendments and you forget the amendments and you discuss some different amendments, some Panchayati Raj, some election commission, direct wrong answer. In geography, they are asking you winds, you are telling them oceans, wrong answer. In literature, the best thing about literature is that if you have read the stories, poetries, novels, and you have even the crux, the basic crux, whatever you will write, whatever you will explain, there is no 100% criteria of 100% correct answer in literature. And that's the same thing. There is no 100% criteria of 100% wrong answer in literature. So even if you just talk about answers on the basis of your graduation or post-graduation level, they will give you at least 40% marks. So suppose your question is carrying 10 marks and you are just beating the bush around that question, they will still give you 4 marks out of 10. If you're trying to write some good, 5 to 6 marks. Now when we are in the classes and we want to make it better, our target is that we have to go to the 80% level, 8 marks. Out of 10, at least 8. So that collectively we target 8 and 9 and get maximum marks. Second thing, there is a rumor that English literature is not a scoring subject. This is a rumor. Why this is a rumor? In graduation and post-graduation, in earlier timings, like ancient timings, like 5 years back, 10 years back, it was a system, but this is UPSC. Why this is not called a scoring subject in graduation and post-graduation? Because the people who are checking your copies are somewhere lazy. So they see your handwriting, they create an image in the mind that, okay, this person has written something good, so give him 6 marks out of 10. But in UPSC, no, each and every line will be read properly. They cannot give you marks on the basis of their assumptions. They cannot give you marks on the basis of their pre-learnings that, okay, just writing is good, spellings are good, give them marks. No, this will not happen. Now, what will be our method? This is an important point. Many of you really want to talk about this thing. Some of you have spoken to me. Some of you have spoken to the Pooja ma'am and others in the class. So let's talk about the pattern. We have made this class hybrid. It's a hybrid class. We will have high standard podcast lectures. Now, why high standard podcast lectures? Like, these kind of devices. High standard podcast lectures. Why? Literature is all about explanation, communication, a narration. So it has a story, it has a narration, it should be expressed in a proper way. बहुत rare chance होते हैं. There are rare chances that we have to use boards. So if the basic stories, the basic level lectures are in podcast mode, It can be stored in your mobile phone. It will save your time. A 20 minutes lecture where you just have to focus. You know, the FM channels are like FM channels like songs and all. So there are so many new FM channels providing lectures. It saves data, it saves stories, and moreover, it is friendly, it is mobile. You can carry it wherever you want. For your morning walk, for your evening walk, you can revise the lectures. So podcast lectures will giving you the crux of everything. Then comes live video classes like this. This video class is a live video class where in coming sessions, I will be taking your questions in written format. So you will write the question, as you are just limited only 22, 23 people in the batch. We will be taking your questions in written format and I will be answering you, knowing your all the names. Moreover, the third thing, digital board video classes. There we have some details related to British history, details related to post-colonial theories, how the concepts they are based on theoretical approaches. There we will need board. So another type of video classes will be taken in the studios, digital board classes. There I will talk about all the chronological details, all the contextual details, all the facts, publication date, or the quotations or lines, we'll be doing it there. Then third thing that comes is interaction. Zoom sessions. In Zoom conversation, we will be having a video conversation where we can take a topic and discuss. So my method is that we are done with lectures of podcast, we are done with lectures of videos. Now you also have the idea, I also have the idea. So let's discuss a question. For example, suppose I have this, there are so many papers I have. मेरे पास बहुत सारे भी papers हैं UPSC के. So this is 2016 that I have picked. So I'm talking about this and I've picked 2016. So suppose there is a question. While House of Mr. Vishwas is a great in macrocosm, it is always flawless in microcosm. Do you agree? So you'll be like, sir, macrocosm, microcosm, we don't even know what is that. We don't even understand. In Zoom conversation, I will be giving you this topic to read, prepare, and come with your knowledge, and I will provide you the proper knowledge. And then we'll go for answer writing pattern. In answer writings, I'll be rectifying your mistake. I'll provide you sample answers, and along with that, you will get individual counseling. Suppose some of you have written really good but are making some small mistakes. So there what will I do? I'll text you personally or call you personally and we'll talk about that. Please remove this thing. There will be some generalized rectification, some basic rectification. There we will have a general lecture, a general conversation. That okay, remove these issues or problems. Like sometimes students start making pointers. They highlight certain words, certain phrases, or sometimes they take titles of every paragraph. They make mistakes. This is not literature. In literature, we do not need titles of every paragraph. You don't have to notify every step by step. So generalized rectification, individual rectification, this will be our entire method, and with this we will talk about the previous year question paper. So this will be the entire pattern, talking about these things, how to prepare, what to do, what not to do. Now, I have to introduce the syllabus. This is the syllabus. We're going to talk about this. The detailed analysis of syllabus will be done in a separate lecture. This is orientation. So I have to introduce certain things. As the very first thing that is mentioned in the main syllabus, they have written this thing, that syllabus consists of 2 papers designed to test first-hand and critical reading of the text prescribed from the following periods in English literature. Paper 1, 1600 to 1900. First 300 years. 1600 to 1900. Technically, they are talking about this thing, that they are going to talk about the literature from 1600 to 1900. To primarily, they will have some Elizabethans, some Restorations, Augustans, and Victorians. Now, can we say that they can ask something more than these? Yes, because they are saying 1600, but what about the questions based on Renaissance? There was a previous year question in exam, discuss the influence of Renaissance on Shakespearean plays. So they are asking, discuss the influence of Renaissance on Shakespearean plays. It means if you have to talk about Renaissance, we must know that in 1498 India was discovered, in 1492 America was discovered, and what are those battles? What was the issue of the Battle of Spanish Armada 1588? So we have to talk about certain things prior to these. So my idea would be to give you proper knowledge from zero level, so that even if you have to write your answer, mention those details, mention those pointers, and you make your answer look very impressive. The person who is checking your copy will be impressed to see that your person knows more than need. So we will go for complete British literature, complete British history. We have to go for that, both in chronological way, both in analytical way. Then, second paper they are saying 1900 to 1990, 90 years only. Why in first paper 300 years? Why in second paper only 19 to 1990, only 19 years, 90 years, 90 साल only? एक तरफ 300 साल, एक तरफ 90 साल. Because in second paper, the focus would be on moderns, postmoderns, comparative, post-colonials. They are going to give us a tough time. The best thing about this is that it looks tough, people take it in a tough way, but the moment we answer it, we have to understand modern theories, postmodern theories, and how to use those theories while we are answering the questions. Then, they have given us complete syllabus, and in the syllabus they have mentioned this, that we have to know Renaissance, Elizabethan Jacobean drama, metaphysical poetry, epic, mock epic, neoclassicism, satire, romantic movement, rise of novel, and Victorian age. We will have separate lectures on all these things. The rise of novels, the introduction of the novels, the types of novels. We will have all the understandings of these things. And then we'll go for section A. So the first one is Shakespeare with 2 books, 1 tragedy, 1 comedy. Then John Donne, some poetries are there. Then Milton book 1, book 2, book 4, book 9. That's Paradise Lost, most important books. Then Alexander Pope, Rape of the Lock. William Wordsworth, some poetries are there. Then they have given us Alfred Tennyson, In Memoriam, and Henrik Ibsen, A Doll's House. Technically, section A of paper 1, it's not unknown, it's totally known. All we have to do is work on a strategy to answer these things. Primarily when you go for Paradise Lost, 4 different books, 4 different complete narrations. I will be providing you that. Don't worry. Don't think that's kyon padhega itna. You don't have to worry. I'll be providing you. Section B. Jonathan Swift, Gulliver's Travels, Jane Austen, Henry Fielding, Charles Dickens, Eliot, George Eliot, Thomas Hardy, Mark Twain, one American. No problem. All of these are world classics. Not even a single work or author is unknown. So technically when the books are known, the authors are known, they are going to ask questions which are unknown. So just like, the King Lear, there was a question, what is the idea of disability concept in King Lear? You will not believe there's a lot of people who qualified NET and JRF, they don't even know that. Even after qualifying NET and JRF. They don't even know that the latest studies takes King Lear as the idea of the ideal character representing disability. A person, a majestic king, and then mentally challenged, physically weak, an old man having hysterical behavior. So we will be studying like that, like pro. Then part 2, we have modernism, and in the modernism, they have mentioned this thing, poets of 1930s. So technically all the modern poets of 1930s will be studying here. Auden group, Dymock poets, Oxford group, left-wing poets. Then stream of consciousness, we will have a separate lecture for this. Absurd drama. The moment when they say absurd drama, they are technically asking approx 7 writers with their great works. Colonialism and post-colonialism. So it looks easy. But then we have to talk about colonization, books related to colonialism, imperialism, neo-colonialism, post-colonialism. Then Indian writings in English. In Indian writings in English, we have to go for novels and all. Marxist, psychoanalytical, feminist approaches to literature. Technically, these 3 theories and how to identify these approaches in literature. And then comes postmodernism. This syllabus is something that will be involving your curiosity. I will need your active participation. Then the poetries of W.B. Yeats. The poetries of Auden, work by John Osborne, then Samuel Beckett, Philip Larkin's poetries, one Indian writer, A.K. Ramanujan, and then the poetries by A.K. Ramanujan, and then in section B, Joseph Conrad Lord's Gym, one of the finest work dealing with post-colonials. James Joyce, Portraits of the Artist as a Young Man, one of the finest post-modern work. D.S. Lawrence, Sons and Lovers, dealing with modernity and idea of sexuality running in a family. E.M. Foster, Passes to India, post-colonial narration. Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway, again, modern post-modern narration. Rajarao Kantapura, modernism in Indian literature. And V.S. Naipaul, once again a post-colonial work. Technically, the syllabus is not tough, not unknown, but the problem is when the syllabus is known, authors are known, books are known, they come with the question that can confuse you. This is the paper of 2022. Let's take some of the questions. Critically analyze the discourse of colonialism in The Tempest. Question number 2, section A, 15 marks. Critically analyze the discourse of colonialism in The Tempest. So when I will be teaching you Tempest, I will tell you what are the post-colonial narrations, symbols, signals in Tempest. Do you know Tempest, Prospero, he has been expelled from his kingdom. So the very first thing, he has a boat, books for knowledge. He sails. The sailing itself is the post-colonial reference. From west to east, he finds an island. This represents the idea of Julius Caesar, Vini, Vidi, Vici. मेरा status है mobile का. My mobile name is Vini, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Then how they see the natives of the island, why he calls them beast, why Trinculo says that any English gentleman who would not spend a penny for a good cause will throw a center to see the beast. Concept of freak shows, master, concept of language. All these things in one question, 15 marks. And this is a paper of 2022. So technically for us, this is a very easy question because we prepared our students for this. There are questions like this. What is the role of Hamartia in the tragedy of King Lear? Question 3, option B. And the marks are 20. So when I will teach you Aristotelian models of tragedy. Hamartia, catharsis, peripecia, anagnorisis, hubris. We will be prepared with these things so that when you answer, because how many people are answering this thing? Imagine, maybe there are like 40, 50 people who cracked the pre and reached to the mains level and they have written the answers. Out of 40, 50 people, is it really tough to get your copy identified, noted, focused at? If you have written answer in a proper way, there are codes, there are lines, it will naturally get the attraction of the teacher, and the teacher pays his attention. He will read references, lines, from where to read, what reference you are citing. He'll simply understand that this person has worked really hard and deserves good marks. So that will be our entire strategy dealing with all these works, all the questions related to this. And I personally believe that teaching is an interactive thing. It should not be a one-sided thing. So as this was the interaction, orientation, introduction, so I stopped the comments so that I can talk and express more and more. But in coming sessions, there will be permission to comment so that I can get you involved in proper way. So we will have complete active participation, and I would also love to know if you have your own understandings, own knowledge, own collection of papers, or you have some own, anything related to UPSC English. If you want to share it with me, like some of you have already taken coaching classes of UPSC English. So I got to know that maybe you are not having good experience. So no problem. But if you want to share some knowledge, some notes, or some answers given to you by them, and you want me to share my idea, I would love to do the active participation. So that would be all for today. Let's get ready for the lectures, and we'll be starting with the complete chronological details of the British history on digital board. So thank you so much. And once again, thank you so much for joining and trusting me. I will give you my 200%. Thank you.